Ring Ropes Turnbuckles Podcast. Hey, we back for another one. This one is very important to not only me, but my boy over here. So y'all stay tuned for this important conversation we're going to have. Let's get it.
Strength is like powerhouse, dangerous slam, surgical, can't repair once I break every limb. The general, which ring you prefer, I defend, cause the ruler always preys on the food in his hand. I'm telling you fam, my entourage is definitely stacked. Don Callis, I'm related to every wolf in my pack. Diesel like Shaq, I'm always outside for the script. Light it up, we take the ring, no fear in our eyes. Gold on my shoulder, fire in the sky. Hear the crowd get loud, we were born to rise. Bars in the zone, Doug keeps the pace. Otter with the plan, we control the space. This is greatness, nothing less. Turn the pressure to success.
This is the Ring Ropes Turnbuckles Podcast, your home for real pro wrestling talk.
Soon, Bang Out Club will meet their fate. We have a secret weapon. Someone from Lisa Bang Out's past, just in case she tries to get involved in our business. Meet our insurance policy.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we the champs. Thanks for listening. We gone.
You want the best? You're looking at her. This ain't just a sport, it's a lifestyle. Welcome to the Ring Ropes Turnbuckles Podcast. We are the champions of wrestling talk.
Please stand by.
Now, here's your host for Ring Ropes Turnbuckles Podcast, the insightful Scott Bars, wrestling media in the dynamic salute, Darkwing Dub.
We are back, folks. We are back. It's your boy, Southern King, Darkwing Dub. And right next to me, we got the homie, the bro, the insightful Scott Bars. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's good? We are back. Special episode.
Yes, sir.
Happy Black History Month. See my Black History blazer right here. You know what I'm saying? Happy Black History Month to everyone.
Although it may be March 1st, Black History never ends. Everybody remember, just because we get the shortest month of the year, Black History never stops.
Mm-hmm.
Always remember that. Mm-hmm. And y'all will see when we get the thumbnail posted for this, I actually came up with the concept. Mm-hmm. So I actually put some of my influential, Black History people at the top. Y'all will see who's all up there. But we are a wrestling podcast, so we will be discussing Black pro wrestling. Mm-hmm. And to start this conversation off, I want to ask you this, bro. Did WWE, and because there's a lot of discourse online only about WWE, but I want to know, was there enough done for Black History Month by WWE and AEW?
Well, if you want me to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there could ever be enough. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Black history in professional wrestling, I don't think there could ever be enough. It needs to be covered all year round, because Black wrestlers were very scarce at one point. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I know usually you'll have most people that point the finger and say, oh yeah, it was them over there, or it was them over there. Like, when you said that, thought process came in right away. It never can be enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I would say for both parties, you know, they're trying their best to promote more, but it kind of feels more genuine on one side and less ingenuous on the other side, because the one side's been accused for so long, and they're finally finally becoming hip to it, and they're trying to fix it. But this is something that should have been fixed, you know, years and years and years ago, before we even gotten to this point. You know what I'm saying? So I can say that, but I don't think there's enough coverage of Black history when it comes to professional wrestling. I don't think there's enough coverage on either brand. You know what I'm saying? And and I gotta say, there's not enough coverage, you know, and my reason being, like I said, you know, back then it was very scarce. Like, I heard there's so many Black wrestlers that I recently heard of that I didn't even know existed. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So when we say coverage, I'm going to say everybody has to play their part. Every promotion has to play their part, whether you're on the indies or whether you're not. Every promotion has to play their part. Now, I will say this. There is one promotion that's been playing their part since day one, and they're not one of the people that's included in the conversation, but they are included in the conversation because they have been doing their part, and that's Ashe. You know what I'm saying? Ashe has definitely been doing their part when it comes to promoting Black excellence. So when you say coverage, they have been covering Black excellence when it comes to professional since day one. Of course, they're all Black company, you know what I'm saying? But they have been doing it since day one. You know, there might be others. Of course, we know there's others, but the one that we can say that is the mainstream of the indies when it comes to Black wrestler is Ashe Wrestling. So, yeah, Ashe's been doing their job. You know what I'm saying? And they're only getting better at doing their job. So, yeah, you know, they the ones that are handling their business. Everybody else got to catch up to them when it comes to Black excellence.
Man, first and foremost, shout out to Darius Lockhart and Ashe Wrestling. Wrestling for us, by us. But, you know, I want to make something clear. Just because it says for us, by us, doesn't mean all is not included. It's just the wrestling that you see going to look like more like me and him than it does anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? But to answer my question, I'm going to say no. I don't think any of the promotions outside of Ashe, you know, an all-Black promotion, really done shit for Black History Month, and that includes AEW. I know everybody loves AEW. AEW is on their thing, but I'll be honest with you. Other than Swerve, who have we really seen on their TV? Where's MVP? Where's Shelton Benjamin? Where's Bobby Lashley? You know, you see Ricochet pop up here and there. Where's all the Black talent at outside of Swerve? Private Party, I guess they showed up in, you know, in the indies and stuff like that. I mean, we're getting some guys on Ring of Honor, but Ring of Honor is not on TV. You know, where's Queen Aminata at? You know, we haven't seen her. We do get to see Willow Nightingale, so there's another one. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's all the color at for AEW? They're all on Ring of Honor. And I'm sorry, but Triple H is going to have to do a lot more than call up a bunch of NXT talent and give Carmelo Hayes the United States Championship to beat the allegation.
My point exactly. That's why I said what I said. My point exactly. Talk your talk, bro. Talk your talk.
He's going to have to do a lot more than that to beat the allegations, because just because you call up Obafemi and you're making him look like a monster, just because you call up Trick Williams and Javon Evans, making them look like superstars, guess what? Shawn Michaels is already doing that in NXT. Why did it take you over a year to acknowledge Carmelo Hayes? Where are the street profits? Why are you keeping the street profits off TV? I understand Bianca Belair is injured. I got that. She's not going to be on TV. But why are you keeping the profits off TV? Now you see, y'all got my boy Montez Ford out there looking like, who did it and what for?
Yo, somebody posted a comment of Bianca Belair. All right, so I don't know if this was AI or if it's a fake meme or whatever, but there was a posting of Bianca Belair for a fan asking a question and Bianca Belair responding by saying that she feeding him real good. You know what I'm saying? So, I found it funny. You know what I mean? I'm not laughing at his issues or whatever it is. I'm not laughing at that, but I found it funny because like he's gained a lot of weight. Now this wrestler is probably one of the physically best looking athletes, you know what I'm saying, as far as like wrestling, pause, but I'm just, acknowledging like the dude's in shape. You know what I'm saying? So for him,
Shoot your shot.
yeah, what'd you say? Hey, yo, we not starting that, yo. We not starting that. Yo.
That was for Rayhan, bro. That was for Rayhan.
You know what I'm saying? Double, triple entendre pause, okay? You know what I'm saying? Let me just get that out the way. But getting back to what I'm saying, right? He was. So when the fans see him like that, it's like a shock because part of the reason why he was so over is because of the athleticism he had, how his great look, and so much other attributes that he brings to the table. So when we see him like that, we like, damn, like what happened?
What happened to Montez?
Yeah, like
he out there looking bigger than Angelo.
Bruh, he was bigger than Angelo, bro. I ain't even going front, bro. He was he listen, you know what I'm saying? He gained a few pounds, man. You know what I'm saying? Pause again. Cause I know, listen, I know some of y'all gonna try to use this and flip. So pause 10,000 times before y'all even get started. I can hear Rayhan's voice in my head right now. Pause. Okay?
Now you know what he would say, like, nah, don't pause.
I know he would say that too. Yeah, say that.
Like, nah, don't pause.
It's funny, man.
No, but for real though, like you can't just call up Lash Legend and Obafemi and Trick Williams, and believe it or not, Kiana James is black. So Kiana James and Javon Evans and soon to be Sol Ruka, and think that you're going to beat these allegations, because are they going to be in the main event scene? Who? So if you watch Monday Night Raw and you saw Brock Lesnar lay his challenge out for WrestleMania, now the consensus is saying it has to be Obafemi. The story is already told from WrestleMania. It has to be Obafemi, right?
You're right.
But now I've seen some odds pop up on some of my my sites that I use to do some sports betting on. I don't use it often. I'll use it often. Y'all chill out. I don't use it all that often, but I do check them out. And LA Knight seems to be the consensus right now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So how are you going to beat these allegations? Are you going to put these people in the main event scene? Like, think about it. Who we have in the main event of WrestleMania, men and women? right now, we got CM Punk, Roman Reigns, not black. We got Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. That's one. We got right now, as of right now, is Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. Not black. Even though Randy Orton listens to black music, he ain't black. And then we got Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan, not black. So right now, in the main event of WrestleMania, we have one black person. And a lot of people don't even like her.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm going to ask you, see what you say. What can Triple H do to beat these allegations?
Well, first off, and I'm doing this while I share the feed to everybody so y'all can be able to tap in. I see a few of y'all tapping in right now. Thank you for tapping in with us. I know usually we don't do recordings on Sundays, but, you know, this is a special occasion. Anyway, back to what I was saying. First of all, like, I know people are going to say, like, he can never beat the allegations or whatever. To me, he could, but the way he has to do it, he has to, first of all, sincerity has to be there. And I have not seen no sincerity from him ever since he got accused of it. I've seen him try to dodge the question. I've seen him try to leap over the question. I even seen him tackle the question head on and say very insincere things, but I've never ever seen him just actually just be truthfully honest besides what he already thinks, which is his honesty. Because you could tell, like, you know, how do you tell somebody that they can't relate without telling them they can't relate? Because he has the opportunities to try to relate to us, but he don't want to relate to us. You know what I'm saying?
So you gotta want to do that, bro. You gotta want to do that.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to relate. And I understand he probably wasn't raised in the circumstances to understand culture in general, not just black culture, but just culture in general. And, you know, that's not, you know, I can't really say it's his fault. I got to blame the parents, because the parents are supposed to instill that in you at an early age. And I don't know what his parents was about, but I do know, like, as for me, as for you, as for a bunch of other people that we know, we will instill with cultural values that will allow us to see every perspective, no matter what race you were, you know? And the only perspective he sees is his own perspective, you know? If Shawn Michaels could turn a new leaf, then why can't he? And Shawn Michaels is years older than him.
Mm-hmm.
And Shawn Michaels is turning up. And I know people will be like, oh, well, yeah, Shawn Michaels was like that too. And I know he's a Christian. I still don't forgive him. Listen, not to get all biblical, but we do stuff all the time we ain't supposed to be doing. And we got a higher power looking at us and what we do on a regular basis. So if you casting a stone at him, how many stones are being cast at you right now for what you doing? I'm not saying what he did in his past was right. I'm just saying, like, you gotta, like, when somebody is trying to make amends and you see they're being sincere about it, you gotta just try to give them a chance. I feel like Shawn Michaels is the most sincere out of this whole situation because he really is trying. Not for everybody else, I don't know. But he's been the guy that's been vocal. He's been the guy that's been visual because we seen him on TV. We seen him spoke out about certain things. So I'm going to put him in the hot seat and say that, you know what I'm saying, Triple H can learn a lot from Shawn Michaels as far as what he's doing. You know, that's all I can say about that part.
I'll also throw out there he could probably learn a little bit from his other good friend, Kevin Nash.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I know he said some insensitive things about Javon Evans and he has since apologized for it. But outside of that, he's been sort of an ally to the black community. You know, I will also say is go have conversations with your black talent from Evolve all the way up to Raw and SmackDown. Go have conversations with your black talent. See where they're coming from. See what they need. Do they need to see more black people in creative? Because I'm sorry, some of the stuff that y'all that got going on for some of the black talent, i.e., R-Truth, it's not indicative of the black community. I mean, not every group has to have some kind of a street slang to it, like the Street Profits or Crime Time. They don't have to have that. You know, names like the New Day is okay. It's okay. So go talk to your black talent. And number three, I should say, make sure they understand that they are just as important to this company as anybody else.
Yeah.
Because if you let MVP tell it, MVP is telling a totally different story.
Yeah.
Trust and believe that. MVP is telling a totally different story. And he's the reason why Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley left. Because I think reports had it that Bobby Lashley was going to stay, but MVP got to him and said, "No, you need to come over here with me." And I'm not going to excuse Tony Khan, because Tony Khan started out hot with the black talent. We don't see him on TV all that often anymore. I'm just saying, like, Tony Khan has more of a track record with his black talent than Triple H does. So he gets a smidgen of a pass, but you're starting to go backwards a little bit. Bro, because a lot of your black talents ended up on Ring of Honor and not so much Collision or Dynamite.
And not to cut you off too, and we're not saying, oh yeah, every every promotion, oh yeah, they got all it has to be black television all the time. Like, no, we're not saying that, but we're just saying, like, promote the black talent. Just promote them. Just get them on TV. The ones, and let me put this out there too, the ones that are deserving, the ones that are ready. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you might in some cases say, oh yeah, put all the black talent out there now. Let's be for real here. There's a lot of black wrestlers that are good, but they're not good enough to be on TV. You know what I'm saying? They might be good enough to just stay where they're at. And that's for all wrestlers, not just, you know, the black talent. So what I'm saying is that the ones that are ready, like the Javon Evans, like the Obafemis, you know what I'm saying, people like that, those are the ones you need to push to the forefront and basically be the flag bearers for what you're trying to fix. You know, like you got to do that. You know, like every promotion, I'm pretty sure, has the Pacific black talent that are basically the flag bearers for the culture. You know what I'm saying? Those are the guys that you need to put them in situations where they could get you certain endorsements somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Where they could get you a certain demographic. You know what I'm saying? Where they could get you certain talents to come to your company. You know what I mean? You guys start inserting black writers, start having writers, so that you can understand our psyche, where we coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you integrate yourself and find out about the culture. You know, am I overstepping when I'm talking? Like, you know, just tell me.
No, because if you think about it, what did he do? What did Triple H do to endear himself to the Samoan community? The Rock, Roman Reigns, the Usos, which then brought Rikishi, which then brought in Jacob Fatu. So it's like, and now you got the Tongans on there. JC Mateo, Jeff Cobb. We're gonna call him Jeff Cobb. So it's like you know how to make stars out of Samoans. You cannot sit here and fucking tell me that it took a year and a half for Carmelo Hayes to be ready for TV. You cannot sit here and convince me of that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no excuse of it. If you can push, a lot of people do not like, especially now, but people are sour on Jey Uso right now. Is Jey Uso the best wrestler out there? No. But you know who's a better wrestler than Jey Uso and who was more than ready to be put in a more prominent position on SmackDown? It was Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes is a way better wrestler than Jey Uso. I get it. Jey Uso's been in the company longer. You know, he's got the backing of that Samoan dynasty. Mm-hmm. But you cannot sit here and tell me that it took a year and a half or a year and some change, however long it was, for Carmelo Hayes to be ready to be in a prominent position. And then on top of that, he has a U.S. title, right? Mm-hmm. What feuds is he building with this title? What is he doing to get this title over except for defending it every single week in an open challenge? When are we going to start getting story behind it? Like, okay, you have something small working with Ilya Dragunov, but they're being like best friends and stuff like that. But where is an actual story for Carmelo Hayes to work through? There isn't one. There isn't one. Mm-hmm. Give him a story. Like, put him in a position to succeed. Because eventually, this open challenge shit is going to wear out. Like, John Cena did it for a little bit, and then it was done. So, put him in a position to succeed. Because right now, he has a title, but you're not really doing anything with it. How is it going to be used at WrestleMania? That's what I want to see. What story are we going to tell for WrestleMania?
Yeah, I get you. I get what you're saying, man. For real, like, there's really nothing else going on with him right now besides the whole Ilya Dragunov thing. And they kind of ran through that already with the first go around. So I don't know why they're backtracking and going right back to it again. It really makes no sense to me, but I guess we'll just have to find out eventually. Like, I just want to see, more stories developing in general for a lot of the black talent. That's all I want to see. You know what I'm saying? I just want to know that, I could see somebody on television just like me that, is developing and doing something. Yes, we see a lot more of it now, but why did it have to take this long? That's all. You know what I'm saying? Why did it have to take this long? And not for nothing, if you're going to do it and you are doing it or you're trying to do it or whatever, give them something meaningful. Like, we don't have to be all the time doing the whole dancing and two-step type of thing. Like, we don't have to do that. There are some serious roles you could give some of the black talent. Like, I know.
Boy, I will be so fucking pissed if they turn Obafemi into some kind of goofy kind of guy instead of leaving him the way he is. Like, bro. No.
Now, I don't think they would. Honestly, I don't think they would do that. It'll get too much of a backlash. But then again, we've seen worse. We've seen worse situations in the past. So, like, I don't think they would do that. Speaking of a whole Kevin Nash thing, right? And I do think that Kevin Nash will be like an ally as far as seeing, more blacks on television, because he has stepped up and petitioned for a lot of black talent. You know what I'm saying? I do feel, though, that, he needs to refamiliarize himself with how black talent is today. in professional wrestling, because he do seems a little bit out of touch a little bit when it comes to black talent. Like when you mentioning urban, like you saying urban, like urban is not what it used to be 15, 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Going back even further when you were active, urban is not like that. Urban is a lot different right now. And I feel like the best way for him to explain that is like he just didn't understand the language. Now, if you said that instead of saying Bojangles or urban or whatever, then I would have got what you're saying. And of course, you know, looking into it more, I understood what you were trying to say. It was just the wrong set of words. You know what I'm saying? I did get it. So I don't fault you too much, but this is why I said you need black writers on the writing team as far as all the professional wrestler companies. You need a writer. You need like at least 2 of them. You even need a black publicist. A publicist that would be like, you know, that's connected to the community and just say, hey, when you go out there, maybe you need to do this or do that, or maybe you shouldn't say this or say that. You know, like you need one of those. And I feel like it's important to have at least 2 or 3 of them type of positions within a company. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it means a lot. And I do feel like once you have those type of people behind the scenes, it will definitely, you know, allow you to be, it will just give you better wording as far as what you should say and what you shouldn't say. So, like I said, I just feel like he's just a little bit out of touch when it comes to what urban is now and what it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's just different now, you know?
Yeah, man. So we'll just have to see what Triple H and Tony Khan and the rest of the wrestling communities does to to promote their black wrestlers and push their black wrestlers. And like he said before, we're not saying that they all need to be in the limelight. They all need to be at the top of the cards, because we understand that just can't happen. But if they're ready, like Tony Khan saw that Swerve was ready, so he took a chance and went for it, and he struck gold. Mm-hmm. So at some point, Triple H is gonna have to be like, you know what? I think this guy is ready, so let's just go for it and see what happens. Whether if it's with Trick Williams, we know Obafemi is a bona fide superstar. Mm-hmm. Javon Evans, hell, they done already came out and said that WWE doesn't see Javon Evans as a main event player. Like, how the fuck would you know that? You just called the guy up. Mm-hmm. He was a main event player on NXT, so why can't he be a main event player on the main roster? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that he needs a belt right off the bat, but just push him and see what happens. You might strike gold like AEW did with Swerve. Mm-hmm. Trick Williams. See what happens. Carmelo Hayes. Give him that main event. See how he does one-on-one with Drew McIntyre or Randy Orton. You know, we saw what Javon Evans held his own against Randy Orton in NXT. Lash Legend is holding her own. Mm-hmm. So there's opportunity. All you got to do is just give somebody the opportunity. That's all we're asking, just an opportunity. Because like I said, I've said it once, I've said it twice, and I'm going to say it again. It shouldn't have took Carmelo Hayes a year and some change to at least be put in the mid-card championship scene. Mm-hmm. It should have been him and Andrade. Now, you see where, hey, can I ask you a question? What's Andrade doing right now?
Man, my man is like basically he did something with House of Glory. He's involved with the Don Callis family. He could quite possibly be facing MJF for the AEW Heavyweight Championship. amongst the other things that he's doing right now.
And I know everybody remembers that 7-match series that Carmelo Hayes had with Andrade. That's probably that. Those are easily match of the year candidates.
Mm-hmm.
But again, Triple H not knowing what he has, now Andrade is over in AEW tearing the fucking house down, and Carmelo Hayes is stuck with having to do these open challenges. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
All we're saying is give us a chance.
Yeah.
So let's pivot a little bit to something a little bit more positive. Think back to when you were a kid. Who was the first black wrestler that you saw on TV? It was like, oh man, he looks just like me. This is awesome. And explain to the people how it made you feel to see that.
Well, there's a few, but the one that I remember the most, you know what I'm saying? Because the other ones that I know I was just real young, super young. But I could still make mentions of it. Was for one, the first one that I actually seen was Junkyard Dog. Junkyard Dog, like he was a character, you know what I'm saying? Like energetic. He was loved by the fans. He was a beast, man, and I felt like it was cool to see somebody like that. And not for nothing, like I seen Junkyard Dog in person. Like he actually came to Atlantic City, and he had relatives that actually lived in the same projects that I lived in at the time. So it's crazy. Whenever he was in town, you know what I mean, if it was for a show or whatever, he'll pull up in this like pimped out joint, like hoopty joint. And all the kids would be like sitting there like at the playground looking like, yo, that car look fire as hell. Like, who's that? You know what I'm saying? And you know, in our mind, we see a car like that, we automatically thinking, you know what I'm saying, it's a dealer or whatever like that, you know what I'm saying? And then he comes out the whip. We like, oh, you know what I'm saying? If you want to see like how many little kids run up to this guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy, man. And it was just cool. And it's not like he had like 10, 20, 30, you know what I'm saying, bodyguards. He ain't like, as far as I remember when I seen him, he ain't had nobody with him. He came on his own. You know what I'm saying? But the kids knew who he was. Maybe some of the adults didn't, but the kids knew who he was. And that meant a lot. I believe it meant a lot to him too, because like how many times do you see your favorite wrestler just pull up in your projects like that and walk over to somebody else's crib like it's nothing? You know what I'm saying? And not for nothing, how many celebrities do you know that could actually do that without having security? You know what I'm saying? Like, and not for nothing, he was a big dude. You know what I'm saying? Pause again, but he was no joke, man. Like, who gonna try to pull up on Junkyard Dog in his prime at that time too? Who gonna try to pull up here? You crazy? He'll knock your head off. You know what I'm saying? So, like it definitely was pretty cool. And another person, of course, Booker T. Seeing him, Harlem Heat, especially on TV, when he won the title for the first time, he actually held the World Heavyweight title and the U.S. title simultaneously. A lot of people failed to mention that. Am I right? He did have them both at the same time at one point, right?
I'll look it up. Don't get me lying to you.
Yeah, I think he did. He had both titles. He held both titles at the same time, and like I felt like that. Like growing up, you know, when you watching and seeing somebody of his stature do that, it meant a lot. You might not have understood at that point in time how important it was to have somebody like him on TV holding the top prize in professional wrestling. But when you look back at it now as an adult, you see how important that was. You know what I'm saying? And he had some banger of a matches too. And he had a swag about him that was unmatched. It was just different with him. And you know, I want to go all into, you know, detail, because I know we got a lot of time to cover the other wrestlers we want to speak about. So I'm probably going to be backpedaling and talk about more other wrestlers. But at that point in time, those were the wrestlers that I remember. And if I do make mention, I could definitely say Cold Scorpio was another one too. You know what I'm saying? He made it cool to have that swag in the professional wrestling ring. And you could see his essence throughout professional wrestling as you look at the other promotions. You look at people like Xavier Woods and who else? A Kevin Knight and there's a few others, you know what I'm saying? You could tell they were watching a Cold Scorpio or they were watching a Booker T. You know what I'm saying? You could tell they were watching those guys because you could see their essence within their moveset, within how they present themselves, their ring gear, all that. And Scorpio was an innovator too. A lot of the high-flying moves that you've seen now, he did it first. He did it first. You know what I mean? And I talked to Scorpio about this. Shout out to the big homie, right? I talked to him about this, right? We still trying to figure out who had the Harlem Hangover first. Because Scorpio does it. He does it with a little bit of a twist. And then so does Booker T. So we still trying to figure out who had that joint first. You know what I'm saying? We debating with that right now. But yeah, man, like Scorpio has some like classic of a matches, man. The joint he had with Benoit. He faced a lot of people in the indies too. Like Cassius Uno. I didn't know he faced him. He faced Claudio Castagnoli too. Cesaro. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep. He faced Cesaro. Faced a bunch of people. I was like, who? I was like, what? I was like shocked. He faced a lot of these guys that you see on the big time television now. He faced them before they became who they are today. You know what I'm saying? And he put on bangers, like classic matches with them. So it's like, it's crazy, man. You know?
And don't forget, speaking of Cold Scorpio, there's some wrestlers that would have never been what they are without him. Y'all go back and listen to our interview with Buff Bagwell. He played a big part in where Buff Bagwell got in his career.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. He played a significant part in a lot of people's career. But of course, you know, the biggest one was Buff because they were a tag team at one point. They were like the best tag team on television at one point. They had a tag team of the year award, all that type of stuff. They were on top of the food chain until, you know, whatever happened. But they were like the best. It wasn't nobody else beating them, you know. Yeah, man, Too Cold, like anchored a lot of stuff that people just don't know about, you know. And I pray that we're able to get him on the show. I know we talk to him, you know, on a regular, but I pray that we're able to get him on the show one of these days and he's able to tell his story and, you know, just, you know, drop some gems on, like, you know, who who he faced and how he became who he is and who basically he influenced, because he's influenced a lot of folks.
Yeah, there's you know what's funny is there's a lot of black talent that has influenced other wrestlers. I mean, just look at what we're seeing right now. Who do you see in Trick Williams right now?
I see a bunch of people.
It's easy to me. I see Booker T written
Booker
all
T.
over.
Oh yeah, of
Trick
course.
Williams.
I see Booker T. I see The Rock. I see a little bit of Godfather because of the outfits or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that that's going to be his character, but I'm just saying, like, when you look at how he dressed, that's a little bit of Godfather, the fur and coats or whatever. I see his mic skills is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're talking about mic skills, like, his mic skills is like consistently elevating. Trick Williams' mic skills is consistently elevating. So there's no telling, like, where he gonna end up next as far as his promo game. But I see a lot of Booker T. Booker T is like the number one, you know, as far as that.
Absolutely. Also, I would say a special shout out to another one that we've had on the show, and we expressed our admiration for him on the show, which was Ahmed Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
WWE, Triple H, I don't care. If somebody can see this and get this up to whoever needs to hear it, stop being petty. Stop being fucking petty and put Ahmed Johnson in the fucking WWE Hall of Fame. If anybody deserves it right now, I understand AJ Styles and Stephanie McMahon, but if there's anybody that deserves it right now, it is Ahmed Johnson. How are you going to be the first black intercontinental champion, but you're not in the Hall of Fame?
Mm-hmm.
You broke a glass ceiling that a lot of people didn't think would break because of who was running the company, which was Vince McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take to get an actual black WWE champion?
Mm-hmm.
It was years later with The Rock. I mean, yes, people, The Rock is black. His dad is black. Okay. I know some people don't like The Rock or he doesn't like to actively claim his black side, but whether if he wants to claim it or not, his dad is black, he black. So it was The Rock. And then it took how long after The Rock won it for there to be another one, which was Kofi Kingston? You know, and then after Kofi, it was Big E. It was Bobby Lashley, and then Big E won the title off of Bobby Lashley. So they started making strides. It just, I don't know. But how are you going to be the first black intercontinental champion? And you got Triple H so damn petty, and you won't put him in the Hall of Fame? Because he wouldn't let you punk him around like you probably did everybody else, or because he wouldn't allow Vince McMahon to take advantage of his blackness like some other guys did. Y'all go back and listen to some of the stuff that Ahmed was talking about when it came to the guys like D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry and people like that. He said the one guy that he is close with now and was close with back then, Ron Simmons. Farouk. Everybody loves Farouk. Damn! You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody loves Farouk. But all I'm saying is get my guy Ahmed Johnson in there. Like, dude was 300 pounds moving like a cruiserweight, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And not for nothing, too, you know, they at one point, him and Farouk's relationship was tarnished because of that situation that they had with the whole injury thing and stuff like that. And so I want to put out there, like, you know what I mean? How wrestling was back then is not how it is now. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got to remember, like, at that point in time, you know what I'm saying? It was a dog eat dog type of situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was trying to get it. And Ahmed said it himself, it definitely was not a team sport, Everybody was out for themselves. And I want to think that to a certain extent, like, it's still like that to a certain extent, just a little bit. But for the most part, no, it's not. Like, those two were like trailblazers as far as black professional wrestling. I know for me, you know what I mean, seeing Ahmed slam Yokozuna twice, that was an amazing feat. You know what I'm saying? Like, who is gonna be able to pick up that guy, you know what I'm saying, basically with all his might and do it twice. And all him too, because if y'all watch our interview with him, he said it himself. He said it himself that that was all him. Yokozuna wasn't helping him. He even gave a few tidbits, like, a lot of y'all don't know. Yes, they do jump a little bit in the air, so then that way they can get slammed, even though they gotta use some of their strength. If somebody's jumping, hop, yeah, they can kind of pull a body slam. It look like you're slamming them on your own, but you're not. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
first off, why you talking like that?
No, I'm just trying to make it, dumb it down to make it simple for the folks out there that, oh my God, this guy, you know what I'm saying? You see somebody like Spike Dudley slamming a 300, 400-pound person, and you're like, oh my God, this guy is incredibly strong. No. And I'm using Spike Dudley because he's a smaller guy. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, nah. You get a little bit of leverage when they jump in the air like that, so they can assist you with the body slam. You know what I'm saying? And if you notice, when the body slam's occurring, they turning, they actually got one of their arms like this on the thigh, so then when they get slammed, it's kind of guiding and anchoring them, so they don't, they don't hurt themselves, So I just want to put that out there, because some of y'all be trying to be too funny with y'all comments. So,
and see, he might care, right? Your boy don't give a fuck. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say.
Yeah, but yeah, Ahmed was definitely a trailblazer, and he needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, y'all do the right thing and put him in the Hall of Fame. That rhymes.
I mean, you ain't got to keep them. You ain't got to keep the man around. You know what I'm saying? But just give him his just due and put him in the Hall of Fame where he belongs. Mm-hmm. You can't be the first ever to do something and then just be completely left out because you too fucking petty to put him in there. Mm-hmm. Again, you want to help beat those allegations? There's another thing that you can do. Right there. Start with that.
Yeah.
You want to help beat?
We giving you the cheat code, man. Just go ahead and do it. We giving you the cheat code right there. We giving you the game genie. We giving you the game genie right now. All you gotta do, how you put the game genie, the cartridges on top of the game genie and put it together. That's all you gotta do. Just do that, bro. We giving it to you. We give you the game genie. We give you the game shark. We give you the up, down, left, right. You know what I'm saying? We giving that to you, bro. Hold select, star button. We giving that to you, bro. Just go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I remember, we was talking about how it felt to see somebody that looked that had my skin tone on TV like that.
Mhm.
And I remember how it felt seeing Ahmed Johnson. Like I didn't really recognize, like, you see, you quite a bit older than me, so of course Junkyard Dog would resonate with you, right? But I didn't really realize what I was looking at because we had the Junkyard Dogs. You know, I'm old enough to have remembered Junkyard Dog. Don't get me wrong. Junkyard Dog, you got Coco Beware, you know, you got what was his name? What before he became the Godfather? Gosh dang it. He was the voodoo guy.
Papa Shango.
Yes. You had Papa Shango. You know, number one, those were all let's just tell it how it is. Those were terrible gimmicks. Why the fuck you got this big ass black man with a blonde mohawk walking around with a parrot on his shoulder named Coco Beware? Why the fuck do you have another big ass black man portraying to be, it wasn't even voodoo. It was I think it more had long lines of like an African no, it was voodoo because he wore the skull mask. He wore a skull mask. So it's more along the lines of voodoo. Hey, guess what, WWE? Not all black people practice voodoo.
Where?
Bet you didn't know that.
You know what? And you know what? A lot of people will try to give excuses to it. But now as you look at it, you know, from older eyes, you see that although it was entertaining, it wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Why he gotta be Coco Beware? Why couldn't he be something else? Why does the Godfather have to dress like a pimp? Why does he have to be Papa Shango? You know what I'm saying? Why couldn't he just stay Kuma Mustafa? The only reason why I could say like why he probably didn't stay Kuma Mustafa is because maybe it wasn't selling to the fans. So they needed something a little bit more entertaining and stands out. So, but I'm pretty sure there's plenty of characters that he could have played that could have stood out. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't have to be a voodoo guy or a pimp because, you know, not for nothing, like those weren't the best examples of, you know, basically people. Like when you think of a pimp, what do you think of? You think of hookers. You think of prostitution. You think of a whole bunch of other things. When you think of voodoo, you think of devilish behaviors. You know what I'm saying? Hex. Oh, I'm going to cast a spell and turn you into a goat. And, you know, we yo, you know what's crazy? And we the United States, and I forgot who was saying this, but somebody said this important. We the only ones that try to make these type of things good. Like we the only ones, like United States, the only place that do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't see nowhere else, you know what I'm saying, giving witches and witchcraft all types of merits, you know what I'm saying? But you go to the United States, oh, it's a melting pot of all this, you know what I'm saying? We got Bewitched. we got what's the witch that was in the cartoons with Tom and Jerry? We got that. We the only ones that try. We got Alice. What was it? Not Alice. Wicked Witch of the West. You know what I'm saying? We the only ones that do that. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I mean, we gotta stop doing that, man. Like, it's not okay, man. We the only ones that turn a pimp into something like it's okay, like it's okay, a okay job description to be a pimp. Like, Who does that? Like, we the only ones that do that over here, bro. You go anywhere else, man, that's blasphemous, bro. Like, and WWE took those controversial characters and they made something out of it, and people just accepted it. Nobody never said nothing. And not for nothing, the people that play these characters, they probably got paid pretty good. But why is it we always got to downgrade ourselves as far as our moral values in order to get a decent paycheck? You know what I'm saying? Why we always got to do that?
Like G.I. bro. Like, really?
Oh, man. Come on, man. That's Mr. That was what Mr. Entertainment was saying the other day. He's like, "Come on, man!" Shout out to Mr. Entertainment, yeah. He's like, "Come on, man! Like, are you serious, man? GI, bro? Really? What? Really? Like, now you couldn't think of nothing else. Like, you had to think of GI, bro."
Speaking of G.I. Bro, aka Booker T, there's a lot of people in the black community that don't really fuck with Booker T. And it's because of the whole Triple H and Vince McMahon and stuff like that. Give me and the people your thoughts on that situation.
All right, so yeah, I spoke about this. I think it was last week or week before last on Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast. For one, as far as black wrestlers, Booker T is in my top 5. You know what I'm saying? As far as black wrestlers, period. You know what I'm saying? I would be lying if I told you that I didn't like Booker T, his character, and what he did in professional wrestling. Now, do I agree with everything that he says? Absolutely not. But I think that's okay for me to like a wrestler and disagree with some of his takes. I think that's perfectly fine. I don't let my feelings get all involved and entangled into it. Now, that goes by saying this, right? He says some challenging things at times. He plays a very interesting character on TV right now. But you got to remember the promotion that he's working for. You know what I mean? We don't know how he is outside of this. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever worked at a facility and you have to be this certain person just to like blend in and go about your business? You might not like the person that you are in that facility, but you have to do it to make ends meet. Now, I know what some of y'all going to say, oh yeah, why doesn't he just quit then? You don't know his situation. You don't know what he's involved in. You don't know how many business arrangements he got. You know what I'm saying? You realize he runs a company called Reality of Wrestling. Reality of Wrestling is on the ID program. Not only that, you don't know how many plugins he got with WWE too, because he's with WWE. So a lot of times we get our feelings so much entangled, and not for nothing, I've done it a few times myself. But what I'm saying, like, we get our feelings so much entangled and stuff, and we don't even realize how much, these wrestlers have as far as what they're doing with their life outside of wrestling to provide. We don't know if he likes this character or not. He could probably go home to his wife right now and says, I hate doing that Chucky quack quack. Yeah, man. He could probably go home and say that. We don't know that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We also don't know if he actually likes it neither. But what we do know is that he's playing a character. So I'm not saying I give him like all this, I cut him like, all this slack or whatever. But what I'm saying is that we're watching TV, folks. It's like watching a movie. You know what I'm saying? We're watching TV. We're watching characters. You know what I'm saying? We're not watching actual reality. We're watching just TV. It's entertainment. So just like all these characters were playing, or the past were playing these characters, yeah, we might not agree with it, but that's, technically what they're doing. If you want to go even further, like Booker T is like probably the modern day Coco Beware as far as commentating. You know what I'm saying? The only thing he's missing is the parrot on his shoulder. if you really want to like go that far into it, you know what I'm saying? Like that's basically who he is right now. We might not agree with it, but that's the character that he's playing on TV. Just like there's a lot of people that might say that Obafemi is kind of like controversial. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, the big African guy walking around like this. You know what I'm saying? With the short shorts on. There's a lot of people that will say that too.
So speaking of which, let's speak on that just real quick. Mm-hmm. You being of Nigerian descent, how does that make you feel?
It's a part of our culture, bro. So like I don't feel nothing by it, bro. That's a part of our culture, man. He's just taking the culture and he's showcasing it on a big stage. Like that, like all the stuff that you see him do, man, that's how the Warriors were. That's how the Warriors were when they went out to go hunt. That's how they dressed. I mean, of course, he's dumbed it down a lot for television purposes, but that's how they dressed. If you go back into how most of y'all think, oh, Africa's a big jungle. If you go back into there, because we gotta keep it a buck. There are people of the world in Africa and in other countries that still live that way because they choose to. They choose to live that way. I've seen a couple videos, man. I know how it is, man. It's people that choose to live that way. But what I'm saying is that's how they dressed when they went out to go hunt. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Are you going to dress in a fitted hat, some jeans and Timbs, and go hunt for a grizzly bear or something so you can get a fur coat, or wrestle a lion with, like, who? You're not doing that, bro. You're gonna go out. You're gonna be a man's man. You're gonna go out there. You're gonna get your weapons. You're gonna get all geared up, and you're gonna go out there and face whatever element you gotta face, so you can bring the food home for your family. That's how they used to do it back in those times. You know what I'm saying? Do they do that now? Depends on what part of Africa you go. There's still places like that, and it's not just Africa too. There's other third world countries that there's people in the outskirts that still live the same way. There's people that just like to live off the radar, off the grid. They don't want to live, the lifestyle that we live with the technology and TV. They don't want to be spoiled. They want to live that way, So to me, it don't make me feel like nothing because that's our culture, man. That's who we were, man. When you see that's how the Warriors were, man. That's how we when it was time for us to rock and get in the battle. That's how we were. So yeah, I don't feel nothing by it.
So for everybody that want to sit here and say that it's offensive to the African culture, number one, in case you idiots did not know, Africa is a continent. Mm-hmm. A continent has countries in it. Mm-hmm. Just like Europe is a continent. Mm-hmm. It has countries in it. Africa is no different. So Obafemi is Nigerian, which is a country in Africa. Mm-hmm. Apollo Crews, formerly known as the Uha Nation, Nigerian. Omas, Nigerian. Francis Ngannou, Cameroonian. Mm-hmm. Says another country in Africa.
Moose, Nigerian too.
Moose, Nigerian. Israel Adesanya, Nigerian. Kamaru Usman, Nigerian. Then you got Dricus Duplessis, South African. So I say that to say Africa is a continent that has countries inside of it. It's okay to call it Nigeria. You don't have to say Africa. Nigeria, Cameroon, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Ethiopia, Chad, the Sudan. It's okay to say those countries. You don't have to just call it Africa. Just like when people talk about North America, it's Mexico, the United States, Canada, Nicaragua, Panama, so on, Belize, so on and so forth. That's North America. So it's okay to name these countries inside the continent. The only country that is also a continent, sorry for the geography lesson because I do love geography and I'm pretty good with my geography. The only country that you can actually call a continent also would be Australia. Oh, matter of fact, I left one out. Antarctica, another continent that is also a country. Otherwise, Africa, Europe, Asia, North America, South America, those are continents that have countries in them. And I'm off my geography lesson. Hope you enjoyed.
Hey, man. Hey, yo, I appreciate it because a lot of these people just don't know, man. Just don't know. They misinformed. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know how many times I've tried to tell people that Africa's not a country, it's a continent, and they'll just argue with me. There's how could you say that? You're from Africa. Your families are descendants of Africa. I said my family is the descendants of Nigeria. Let's get that clear. Not just Africa. Nigeria, which is a country within Africa, which Africa is a continent. It's sort of like, kind of like the United States a little bit, United States. Then you got the different states. That's why they call it the United States. All the states united, Same thing with Africa. Africa, all the African countries united. You just don't call it, but you don't call it United Africa. You call it the different But, you guys say it that way, bro, because people be stupid, man. And I don't mean to call people stupid, but, I mean.
I do. Y'all motherfuckers dumb as fuck.
I mean, like, if at this point you don't understand, certain things, especially when it comes to geography, especially the most easiest one, which is, like, Africa is a continent, then, yeah, what they say on Martin? What he used to say? What Tom used to say to Cole? It's like, Cole, you stupid.
And did, but it's so crazy how people can go through these years of taking geography or social studies in elementary school, then it turns into geography when you get to middle school and in high school. You go through all these studies in school and you still want to call Africa a country. Like, did you not fucking learn anything? Like, if y'all notice, when I brought up Obafemi and I asked him, how does that make you feel to see Obafemi portrayed that way with you being a descendant of Nigeria? I didn't say Africa. I said Nigeria. Because I'm smart. Because I have sense.
Yeah, man. I don't know why people still get that wrong to this day. It's just weird to me. How they would not, use their thinking cap, and understand the difference. But, It's a conversation we could be arguing about all day, bro, because there's so many people that still don't get it. That still think that Africa is a whole country instead of a continent. There's still people that think that way, man. So,
and it's just like what we were talking about before we even started the show. Is like people look at Africa as just like this poor continent that has nothing to it, and just look at it as desert and jungle and lions and tigers and elephants and black people still live in tribes, and there's no growing economy over there. It's just sand and animals, and the Sahara Desert and the Nile River is all that Africa has going for it. But if you actually do a little research, a lot of those countries in Africa have growing economies.
mm-hmm.
Like Nigeria. Nigeria is a growing economy. You know? So, and not for nothing, most people there's only a certain amount of countries inside Africa that people over here actually know exist. Nigeria is one of them. Egypt is another one. And some people think, and y'all so fucking idiots, bro. Some people think Egypt and Syria are in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Hey,
just get ready.
Hey, guess what?
I knew what you were
Guess
gonna
what?
say. I knew you was gonna say that. Yeah.
Guess what? Those countries are in Africa.
I knew you was gonna say that. I've been trying to tell people that for years, that Egypt is in Africa. Like, I've been trying to tell people that, but they don't want to listen. Oh, that's a Middle East country. And you know what? I blame some of the school systems too, because some of y'all actually been saying that Egypt is a Middle Eastern country and it's not an African country. You know what I'm saying?
Tis.
Some of y'all been saying that. I want to say this, like, although it does have predominantly Middle Eastern folk within that country, it's in Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely in Africa. You look on the map, you see Egypt. You see Egypt on the African map. You definitely do. You know what I'm saying? I blame some of the school systems because you guys are very much misinformed. Like, you guys been promoting the wrong thing to the children, you know, and then it takes us as parents to have to go back home and correct that. And you know, kids of today, some of them will argue with you, but my teacher said that. No, your teacher was wrong. The teacher was wrong, you know. So I blame some of you people in the school system. Y'all better get it together, man. Y'all talking about Black history, do it right. Stop promoting what you want to promote in Black history and promote it the right way. You know what I'm saying? You know, same thing with the whole Juneteenth thing. Y'all do the same thing with that too. You know, stop it. Get it together.
Can you tell the people? Matter of fact, I'll do it. Juneteenth. For you people out there that don't know about Juneteenth, plain and simple, is when the last slaves in Galveston, Texas were freed.
Mm-hmm.
June 19th. Hence, Juneteenth. Says simply put, why shouldn't we celebrate that? It's part of history. It's a part of not just Black history, it's part of American history.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay, people, to celebrate stuff that celebrates Black people outside of Martin Luther King Day.
Mm-hmm.
That day is very important. Don't get me wrong. Martin Luther
Mm-hmm.
King Day is very important, but so is Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it's okay. It's okay. I know we kind of got off topic here, but this is some stuff that had to be said to me. Like, Africa is a continent, and Juneteenth, it's okay to celebrate.
Yep. Agree.
And just so you guys are aware, well, why is it that Black people get a whole month and not veterans? Hey, guess what, dum-dums? veterans, I am him. I am one of him. Veterans get the month of November. You're welcome for the knowledge.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Just people are just so misinformed nowadays, you know, and like, you know, people, you know, let's just put it like this, you know, I'm glad that we have a platform that we could correct some of the missed, you know, information that's been put out there into the universe. I'm glad we have a platform to do that, you know, and I'm glad that we're cultured enough to be able to explain it, because there's some other folks that just don't know, and they don't know how to explain it, and they just say whatever, and it sounds crazy when it gets broadcast online. You know, do your research. Get familiar. You know, read. You know, we got things called Chat GBT. We got Google Gemini now. We got a bunch of programs that do it for you. You know, if you don't feel like
It's
searching,
like, if y'all ever listen to, and I'm not saying because he's wrong sometimes. We're all wrong sometimes. You know what I'm saying? We're not perfect. We're not perfect human beings, right? So we are wrong sometimes. But if you ever listen to a content creator, his name is Conscious Lee. He always says one thing: research over me search. Think about it. Think about it.
I mean, when you say it like that and you think about it, that already lets you know right there, like he's saying research is important, not me search, not like how you feel. It's like, you
There
know,
it is.
get go out there and get the information for yourself, so then you can sound correct when you go online and you have these debates with people. Otherwise, you're gonna make yourself look stupid. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna have one of those Martin moments, like, Cole, you stupid.
You stupid.
So yeah, you know, I think that's very important.
I also want to shout out some of the black women. Miss Jacqueline, Jazz, you know, those are the two that pop up right off the top. You know what I'm saying? They were the ones that really got it going for black women in wrestling, especially in the modern era. It was Jazz and Miss Jacqueline. It used to make me cringe so much when they would put Jacqueline in those bra and panties matches. Oh, that used to make me cringe. Like, let them other ones do that. Leave her out of it. So, but yeah, I want to shout them out. And then, you know, even modern day, even today's, you know, you got I know people don't like her, but what the fuck ever. Jay Cargill, Naomi, Bianca Belair, Mercedes, you know, those are just some of the few. Lash Legend now, Sol Ruka now, Kalani Jordan, you know, Kiana James. You know, some of these black women are out there, really out there doing their thing. Like, some people say, and I'm one of them, some people say that the greatest women's wrestling match in WrestleMania history were two black women: Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Moné, were two black women put on the greatest women's WrestleMania match of all time. Like, if that's not something to celebrate, I don't know what is. And eventually, I would love to see them run it back one more time, whether in AEW. No, I would say WWE, but Triple H will find a way to fuck that up. And it's crazy to me. Like, we sitting here saying Triple H will find a way to fuck that up. And it was Vince McMahon that had put that together. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Yep. I know. But
It was Vince McMahon that put that together. Oh, I forgot Naomi. Shout out Naomi. But it's crazy to sit here and say that, man, Triple H would fuck that up, thinking that it was his father-in-law that actually put Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks together. That it's crazy to say because Vince McMahon is also known as a racist.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like you turn around and he does stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it took a very long time to get the first black champion, WWE champion,
Mm-hmm.
The Rock. But if we're talking about a full-blooded Black American, Kofi Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember Kofi Mania? Just saying.
Yeah, like we said, it should never have taken this long to get the representation that we're getting right now. It should never taken this long. It should have been a lot sooner. Are we happy that it's happening now? Yeah, but it should have happened 20, 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It should have happened around that time, or it should have happened before that. It should have just been out there already. Like, why do we have to say should have? No, should have already happened. You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand the climate to know, what was against us when it came to sports, period, in general. You got to understand the climate. We had sports stolen from us, too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to, don't let me go there about hockey. Yeah. When we start talking about hockey.
Hey, you're a music guy. Don't get started on music because rock and roll, Black invention. Country music, Black invention. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yep. So, I mean, like it is what it is, we could go into so much, and paint this episode as a hidden colors episode. We could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's definitely the truth, man. Like, it's about time we come out the shadows and show what talent, we have had for many, 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 many generations, you know what I'm saying? Just show off our talent and express it in the most colorful way possible without having to, look like a sideshow act. Because a lot of times when you see us expressing our talent, it always has to be something with like a sideshow act. It don't have to always be that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could do other things, So I just want to make that clear. Regardless if you guys agree or not, this is the truth, So.
And I will say this, like we started out the show saying that it is important to have Black History Month, but Black history is also American history. So let's not forget that. Like, if some of y'all out there get mad that we're celebrating our history, I'm sorry for you. You know what? I'm really not sorry. Get the fuck over it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that we are proud of our history, whether if it's him being a descendant of Nigeria or, acknowledging where Juneteenth comes from, or acknowledging the strides that have been made in professional wrestling when it comes to Black wrestlers. Because think about it, Junkyard Dog was the man in Mid-South Wrestling, and he came over to WWF and was a shell of himself. He was still a fan favorite because everybody recognized him from Mid-South, but he wasn't what he was. He was the man in Mid-South. He was the guy in Mid-South, to when he came over to Vince McMahon's promotion, he was relegated to mid-card because Hulk Hogan was the most important.
Yeah.
You telling me that Junkyard Dog couldn't go head-to-head with Hulk Hogan? Mm-hmm. I would say he probably could have outdid Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. So we are wanting people to understand the strides that our community has made. Do I think our community is in a strong spot today for professional wrestling? Absolutely. Because of what Darius Lockhart is doing with Ashe Wrestling. And then we'll see what Triple H does with the black talent that he just called up from NXT to something as simple as Tony Khan taking a gamble on Swerve Strickland and striking gold. We are in a good spot. Now it's about where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, just to wind it down or whatever, we just want to see more of black excellence on television, period. But specifically professional wrestling, we want to see more of that. Especially on the mainstream promotions, we want to see more of that, we want to see, black excellence get its flowers on a regular basis, besides getting it once in a blue moon, or once a year or something like that. We want to see more of it, so the two predominant promotions out there, AEW and WWE, do it some justice. Y'all got enough black talent to do it. Do it some justice. Be the flag bearers of this. You know what I'm saying? Because not for nothing, if the two most dominant promotions do it, the other promotions are going to follow suit eventually. You know what I'm saying? You already got one promotion doing it without nobody's consent. They're doing it. You already got one. So where everybody else at? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like it's important. It's important to do that. It's good. It will keep a balance, and it won't show biasness. You know what I'm saying? It won't show no biasness. It'll keep a balance. So I think the balance is important.
So I have, through this stream of us talking, this podcast of us talking, I thought of something that I want to start doing to start ending our shows with, even with our wrestlers. I want to start doing this. So as y'all know, I typically end our interviews with our wrestlers with, if you can see anybody on the Ring Ropes Turnbuckles Podcast, who would it be? But you so-and-so have to help us get that person here. So on top of that, I am going to add, starting with this broadcast, I am going to add, talking about briefly, one specific person in Black history. Okay. So if we are just about done here, I'll go ahead and hit it up. Okay. So the first person I am going to talk about is going to be Fred Hampton. Now, for those of you that don't know who Fred Hampton is, he was the chairman of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party at just 21 years old. He was known for his charisma, discipline, and ability to inspire people across racial and social lines. He built the Rainbow Coalition, and no, it doesn't mean what you think it means. Today, it might mean something else, but back then in the 60s and 70s, it meant he was one of the most remarkable achievements was creating the Rainbow Coalition in Chicago. He united the Black Panther Party, the Young Lords, and the Young Patriots organization. The coalition brought together Black, Latino, and poor white communities, something considered extremely bold and rare at the time. So you can imagine how important he was to us as Black people back in his time before he was murdered by the FBI. He had a focus on community programs. Hampton strongly supported survival programs that directly helped local communities, including free breakfast programs for children, something that a lot of people are doing today, free medical clinics, something that some people are doing today, and political education classes, which I believe is offered in high schools and colleges now. Crazy. That was a black man's idea. These programs address poverty, hunger, and healthcare disparities in underserved neighborhoods. He was also a gifted public speaker. He was widely respected for his speeches. His messages centered on unity across racial lines is something that we definitely need right here today. I can't get it out. I'll skip it. Self-determination, community empowerment. His quote, "You can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution." That's deep.
Yeah.
Solidarity is the word I was trying to say. Class solidarity. It's still remembered, but that quote is still remembered today. You can kill a revolutionary, meaning just like they killed Martin Luther King, but you can't kill what he was fighting for, right? You can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution. Courage and commitment. Hampton remained committed to his beliefs despite intense surveillance and pressure from law enforcement. Many view him as a symbol of resistance and dedication to social justice. Lasting legacy. His life and impact have been revisited in books, documentaries, and films like Judas and the Black Messiah, which is a movie that came out not too long ago, which introduced his story to a new generation. So needless to say, Fred Hampton was a revolutionary that our community needed at that time. And a lot of his views, as you can tell by what I read, is still enacted today. So, that being said, Fred Hampton is actually one guy that I have looked up to for a long, long time. Because, I mean, think about some of the stuff that he did. Like, who back in those days was able to bring together Black, Latino, and white communities? That is like, back at that time, you know how rare that was? It took a special individual to do that. You know, he built a community around feeding kids. We don't, for whatever reason, this country is lacking that today. Like in my state of Oklahoma, Joe Biden sent money to feed kids in the summer, and our governor turned the money away. So basically, the kids that are hungry in the summertime because they get used to eating during school, but there's no school in the summer. The government was sending money to our state to feed kids in the summertime, and our governor was turning it away. That's Fred Hampton's legacy, people. That's Fred Hampton's legacy, a black man. So, with that being said, if you got anything else left to say?
No, that's a lot of information. You know what I mean? Some of that stuff I wasn't even privy to. You know what I mean? It just goes to show you how important it is to do your research and to know these things, because now I can go and, you know, speak to my kids about it. Like some of that stuff, I be honest with you, I didn't know. You know, and that's to my fault. You know what I mean? Because I know who Fred Hampton is. I just didn't dive deep enough into, you know, what he was all about. You know what I mean? But now I do, you know. So yeah, this segment of the show I think is important, and I want you to continue to do it, because this is very informative, because there will be people out there that won't know.
Absolutely. Every time we do a show, I will end the show with a black fact, whether if it's a person, an invention, or something. It will be ended with a fact based on our community.
Yeah. Oh, and before we leave, and you know I forget, shout out to the Black Wrestling Podcast. Black Wrestling Podcast. So they were holding this thing for Chris Bay. A lot of y'all who've been paying attention on the IWC about Chris Bay's story. You know what I'm saying? He got injured. It would say that he probably could never walk again. He defied the odds. He is walking again and could quite possibly get back in the ring again, too, at some point in time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know, God is good. God is good. That's all I got to say about that. But getting back to what I'm saying, they were holding this thing for, in support of Chris Bay, and they had the shirts. So I, in return, entered us in there, and Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle were part of that whole thing, and we ended up getting a shirt. We ended up getting a shirt. I'm trying to see like if I could get another one so my bro could have one. You know what I'm saying? But I got sure I wore it on one episode of the show already, so I'm gonna end up wearing it again so I can show you all. It's a pretty dope shirt. It's better than dope. It's fire. This is a fire shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like very, very stylish. But shout out to the Black Wrestling Pod. You know what I mean? They doing big things over there. Consistently. And if y'all know them, they are very, very important in the IWC. They had their own list and everything. They are very, very, very high up there in the IWC. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to those folks over there because they are doing big, major things, So, I'm going to be constantly looking out there to insert us in certain things that can, broaden our horizon as far as, our connections and, for people to get familiar with us, and because this space is wide open for everybody, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm doing. But shout out to them. They doing big things over there. Salute to them for the shirt. The shirt is fire. I will wear it again so I can show y'all, but I want to put that out there. Shout out to them, And somebody tag them in this episode as well. You got anything else before we close out?
No. This show just inspired me to do that last segment, and y'all look forward to it. Even with my show, No Cap with Darkwing Dub, I might institute it over there too, just to end my shows with that too. We'll see, but I'm definitely going to be doing it on Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle because it's just too important. It's just too important of a topic. You know what I'm saying? Like it's important for people to know where some of the inventions come from. Where, everybody knows where peanut butter came from, but do we know where the stoplight came from? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do we know who Madam C.J. Walker is?
Mm-hmm.
We know who Rosa Parks is, but do we know who Madam C.J. Walker is? You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So that's why I feel like it's important to have this segment. So I'm looking forward to this. It's going to help me refresh my memory on a lot of this stuff too. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I really am.
Yeah, most definitely, so and I want you to continue those segments, and also if possible when I do the shows on Thursday for Bars Wrestling Media, when the times that you're on the panel, and not for nothing too, when the times you are on panel, I'm going to just have you as, when you do come on, I'm going to just put you as a co-host. You know what I'm saying? Almost like what we do over here. So I could put you on the big screen and stuff. So it's just better that way. And I would like you to, put some of these black facts out there to the folks that don't know, because I feel like it's important,
Absolutely. I will definitely try to get up there more. With all the kids being in sports, it's a little tough, but I'll do what I can.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's important. Also, this Friday, I believe is Mark James, right? This Friday, right? Who's
Cam Jackson.
Oh, Cam Jackson is this Friday.
Yep.
This Thursday, you know what time it is. Bars Wrestling Media Live. If you watched, listened, however, on the last show, those last 30 minutes was getting crazy.
Shout out to Chris.
Those last 30 minutes was getting wild, man. But shout out to Chris. Chris is a wild boy. Like, yeah.
If y'all don't, real quick, I'll plug them in since they're not on here, man. Y'all go check out the #Heels for Life podcast on YouTube. Check out the H4L podcast or Timeless Megatron on TikTok. I'm telling you, dude is crazy.
Yeah, he's wild boy, man. But shout out to Chris, man. Chris is one of the triple OGs of this whole Wrestle Talk podcasting space. So shout out to him. You know, like I said, we'll be back on Bars Wrestling Media on Thursday. Of course, we'll be back with No Cap. We're going to be doubling down on these episodes for Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast. So we're going to have more coming up. We're going to try to get more content out to you guys. I know we've been slacking just a teeny weeny bit because of, but we got lives outside of here. So sometimes it becomes a little tough, but we're going to get things back in motion. We came up with a plan, so we're going to execute it. A lot of big things is going on behind the scenes. We're going to have some more announcements for you guys. One more thing. So I hope you guys are enjoying my virtual self with the retro freestyles. I'm going to be doing these all the time, a lot more often. You go onto my S Got Bars page on TikTok. Make sure you check out the Super Mario freestyle. That's Retro Freestyle 1. And make sure you check out Retro Freestyle 2, which is the Street Fighter freestyle. Yeah, I know it's only 15 seconds, but that's how the video generates. But I'm working on extending them to at least a 2-minute music video. So once I do that, you guys will be the first to know, and I will definitely be posting it, around these channels so you guys can see it. But I hit 1,000+ views on the one video not too long ago. I appreciate the support. Help a brother out. Let's get this other one to 1,000+ or more. You know what I mean? And moving forward, we got another one coming up real soon. I'm working on that right now. So pay attention. Pay attention. I know my boy, he got some stuff coming up. You know what I mean? No cap, no filter. No filter. That means he tell it like it is. He don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
That's the moniker. No cap, no filter, just truth. And I got a good one coming up for y'all, for my boxing fans out there. I got a good one about Ryan Garcia that I'm going to be putting out pretty soon here. Y'all be on the lookout for that.
Most definitely. So we'll be seeing you guys this week for more Ring Ropes and Turnbuckles, more No Cap, and more Bars Wrestling Media. And we'll see y'all definitely this Friday with Cam Jackson. So without further ado, that's a wrap. Salute.
Yo, Robert Mason here, and the fire in this arena is unreal.
And I'm Molly Finwick. We are the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle commentary team, bringing nonstop action. And that wraps up another explosive edition of the podcast. Join us next week as the road to the championship continues.
This is the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast, your home for real pro wrestling talk.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we the champs. Thanks for listening. We gone.